I'm giving the floor, everybody, to Nedka Dimitrova, who is a professor at our Varna University of Management. I told you that she's doing PhD, but actually she has it already. And she will be the lady that will introduce you to the learning approaches. Okay.
Thank you very much. So, hi everyone. I'm very happy to meet you all today, and thank you, Willy, for inviting me to share some ideas of mine about learning, process of learning, thinking and stuff. I teach culture and communication studies and at Varna University of Management, and we teach international students. We have very few Bulgarian students, to be honest. So the school is in Varna, actually. And in one of my classes, for example, I have students from Japan, from China, from Spain, from wherever, California, so all around, world. Very interesting. And we need to think a lot about how people think, what makes them think and behave in a particular way. So Willy invited me to share with you some of my useful experience, I hope. When you try to attract people to your project on sustainability and to teach them, the things that you have to teach. So we all come from the same region. Actually, I understood that we have Greece, we have Turkey, we have Romania, we have, help me, Georgia, Armenia, not yet. Okay. And did I miss someone? Yeah. So we are very much similar, but still different. Yeah. And my main focus, because we teach business management and all these associated, subjects related to business management, the first thing is to teach our students how to apply strategy and approaches when we are talking about management and whatever related to management, to apply it appropriately according to the cultural context, to those differences that are very important. You cannot take a simple principle of sustainability and just put it in a particular environment and expect people to be, understanding or engaged or something. In different countries, people may be engaged in the concept and idea of green thinking, sustainability, green climate smart, business or agriculture in a different way, different degree. In some countries, people never think about environment, about environmental protection, about the issues, about the topics, just because it is something intangible, something invisible. When you say that something is, climate is changing, it affects this or that, most people do not understand that, just because they don't see it, they don't touch it. They know that there is something like that. Unfortunately, in many countries, more than half of the world, the idea of sustainability, green thinking is still far away from reality, from the real need for a change, actually. And I understood that you are the people who will make the change, actually. Yeah. In terms of agriculture, why? Because some people would say, I don't care about agriculture, but actually everybody should, because we all need what? Food. And if food is kind of no quality or toxic or poisoned, so whole big territories and countries can suffer from that. So today I'll try to mention, so briefly to outline some ideas related to how people think and learn with this, what would be the kind of personality and specifics of this type of thinking related to agriculture? What kind of people can become kind of good agripreneur, as they call them, entrepreneurs in the field of agriculture? What is that specific thing that makes them different from the others and attracted to this hard and difficult kind of field of business, which requires lots of work, actually? It's a way of life. So I'll try to show you what makes a good or successful agripreneur. Have you ever thought about working in the field of agriculture? Any of you? What are your kind of work activities? What kind of professional fields are you performing? Impact of climate on soils. Very interesting. Yeah. And what have you found? Yeah. Crops. Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry, we cannot.
Sorry, I should give the microphone to someone who is speaking. So
Thank
there
you.
is another microphone. Sorry, yeah. Because this is very interesting. I guess you're from Turkey. I don't see yeah, because I recognize your
sorry.
accent. Yeah.
My name is Fatih Konukçu. I am working for Tekirdağ Namık Kemal University.
Okay. This is a very big university, by the way, right?
It's a medium university.
35,000 students?
Or 35,000 students, exactly.
In Bulgaria, there is no such university.
Well,
This is huge for us.
exactly.
I know that Tekirdağ is
Depends
one of the
What is
biggest.
the reference then? So I'm working on land and water resources management, particularly on the climate change impact. We have
Excuse
been
me
doing
again. Could you please
research
speak a bit louder? We do not hear it well.
Okay,
You just
Okay.
keep the microphone closer.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
We have been doing research on the impact of climate change on the productivity of the agriculture, not only the productivity, but also the sustainability, and what should people or farmers should do to keep productivity under climate change
Yeah.
and water resources management as well.
Extremely useful, very useful. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciation of the work that you do. And how do you share your knowledge with the others?
Well, we teach first of all at the university, and we have
Young people.
I personally arrange meetings with the young students, particularly 7 to 16 years old, and I try to explain them about the ecosystem, climate change.
Yeah.
What should they do? I mean, they should change their behavior. Otherwise, it is not only related to the policy of the government, but
Yeah.
also people should understand, should be aware about the changing things in the world.
Thank you very much.
You are
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, that's kind of a very smart thing to say, that we need to change people behavior or their approach and understanding of things, but actually we can't do that. The only thing that we can do is just to motivate and encourage them, just to get them engaged somehow emotionally, to understand that it is extremely important to understand, you know, the things that are related to all these issues. So I just wanted to mention that tomorrow, because I have another session tomorrow morning, I'll try to put the focus on how our national culture affects our thinking and why some countries seem to be more engaged in cultural and natural problems and other countries not that much. So there is an environmental friendliness index. I will show that to you. Some countries are not friendly environmental at all, and others are extremely kind of smart thinking in terms of climate change and problems associated with that. And one thing that I wanted to share, so here in this room, I remember a big group of students from many countries. We do different tasks, and when talking about these problems, it seems that very often the most engaged students with the problems related to climate and sustainability are the Finnish students from Finland. The more north they come from, the more engaged with this. And we have students from Uzbekistan and Tajikistan who's never studied anything like this. Nobody has talked to them about the problems. So they do not have a kind of feeling or sensitivity. It hasn't been developed. So sometimes it could be very late when they're 20 or 20 some to change, you know, their pattern of thinking and behavior. So some questions to your attention when teaching or trying to engage people's attention. I always start with questions, just trying to first to get a focus, then not to leave someone behind, you know, the scene, everybody to feel involved. And the questions should always be, in a way, emotional. This could be controversial or contradictory to the understanding of the people in the audience. So here I have put some questions like the quality of food that you buy in shops. Have you ever thought about what kind of food? Andy, ever thought about what food you buy? You see, Andy doesn't.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have, I guess. Maybe mostly about like fruit and vegetables, because it's really easy to find like good ecologically produced fruit and vegetables in Bulgaria. But for anything else, I don't think so.
In most cases, we'll buy Turkish fruits or vegetables, Greek, and we also have lots of Spanish, by the way, as far as I know. But Turkish, produce is maybe has the highest percentage on the market. Oh, I'm sorry. I just look at excuse me. Okay, go.
Okay. I have made the promise to myself recently not to buy products out of season from the grocery store. So I prefer products that are produced nearby farms.
Local producers.
Yes,
yeah.
local. Even if it's a Greek, but not from my hometown,
Yeah.
it's okay, but not from abroad. That
Yeah.
takes, 40 days to come, and they are too expensive, or they take advantage of people working there, like avocados.
And this is also a very smart
yes,
approach that
yes.
is worth to share with young people when you teach them or train
right.
them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Do you find yourself an environmentally friendly person? What do you do in your life just to call yourself environmentally friendly? Recycling? Huh? So this is the first answer that all students usually
Recycling.
provide, recycling. And then when I ask, how do you recycle? Be particular, be specific. So we just put, different types of rubbish in different bins. Okay, that's a good idea, but what else? It's not enough. Reusing. No, it is perfect, believe me. Okay.
Yes.
the most of people give the focus to recycle, but the most important is reuse.
Reusing. Yeah.
Reusing.
Yeah.
Because the materials, the food, all things, it is reduced to buy them. Why buy them?
New one. Yeah.
New one.
No need. You're absolutely right. I do agree. Once I gave my students same kind of advice. Students from Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Bhutan, big group of them. And I were talking with them about these things and mentioned the second-hand shop, clothes second-hand shop, which is nearby. So then from then on, every single day, they visited that shop and bought new clothes. They really like that. Yeah, so you have to think, yeah, to save. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And how much energy will be spent on the new product that they will make. Yeah, transport, logistics, so everything, pollution, and all the, whatever you just start, whatever we talk about, it will be about energy, pollution, and all the rest. Last question. Do you think that you live in an environmentally friendly environment in your own country or your own community, town? I expected this answer.
My
Yeah.
answer
My
is
answer is
no.
the same for my own community. You saw the surroundings. How would you define this as friendly environmental environment? No. So I have prepared a video because most of our students are visual learners. They like, watching, seeing moving images, listening to speech, talk, sounds, music, whatever. This engages more senses. That's why they become more productive and retention increases, by the way. I usually, when talking about the green topics, I will ask them, what is agriculture? I will get some. So what is agriculture? What do you think? Because this is a key word in this project. What is agriculture? Do you have a definition? Yeah, sure. If someone has the answer. So the thing is that I need this. Where is my somebody?
I would say that agriculture is a science that uses natural sources in a way that produces a final product for human use.
Absolutely. So my definition that I took from internet is the same, actually. An art. No, she didn't. I just followed her eyes and she wasn't reading. Science and art. Yeah, it is. It actually is. And then when I ask this question, what sustainability is, everybody believes that they know what sustainability is, but few people actually understand it properly. So how do you understand sustainability, Willy? What is your idea of sustainability? Oh, you see, yeah, that's avoidance, cultural specific.
I think it is also an art to work with resources that
Yes,
are regenerable.
sure.
And
Yeah. To save them for the future generations.
Yes, and with low resources.
Absolutely, the limited resources. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
And
this is the sustainability.
absolutely. But it has three aspects. What are the three aspects of sustainability? Because I'm participating now in several projects, all related in education and business, all related to sustainability. And I learned a lot myself about sustainability. So three main elements. Anybody who remembers that? The social. Yeah, the
Social.
professor is perfect, but that's why he's a professor and a researcher. So economic, environmental, and people, social. Yeah, because when we say sustainability, we usually think about environment, green environment. What about the equality of people? What about, human resources, how they are used? So when they're now discussing how this village for the football championship in Qatar was built, how many people died in there. So this is one aspect, also related to sustainability. So can we speak about sustainable kind of approach in this event? So lots of, I guess that they also had some overuse or inappropriate use of resources, energy, not only human, but other types of resources, nature, for example. And finally, entrepreneurship as a process of creating something new. When teachers teach this topic of entrepreneurship, they usually say that an entrepreneur should be what? Imaginative, creative, having ideas, but in our countries, all our countries represented in the project, do you think that we have lots of people with entrepreneurial mind? The Bulgarian reality is not like that. Greece may be much better. Turkey could be. Yeah. Romania, similar to Bulgaria. Yeah. People always say, okay, I just want to do something, but then they start thinking, oh, government regulations. So if I start, I have to do this. So they're not risk takers. It requires lots of energy, lots of guts, lots of enthusiasm and willingness to work hard and to fight, with the system, which is not appropriately structured. So Vili, I will leave this video in the presentation. If you want, do you think that we have enough time? So it is 2-3 minutes video. Okay, this is just, I chose it because it is a very good, really, I opened, you can play it from here, but I also opened it in the, somewhere in Google, you can find it. And make sure that the online participants all, so I don't see the title. Yeah. Climate agriculture. Usually I use videos in the beginning of my presentation, class presentations, to attract or to explain something more clearly because they involve lots of senses. And I always play the subtitles, because when you listen and read, it is much better processed into that foreign language. In this case, it is English. This one. So it clarifies what we just talked about, what agriculture, sustainability. Because it is muted as far as I can see, the computer. Play the video and let's see. Play the video. Can you start it from the very beginning? Краси, може ли се от самото начало да го пуснеш?
Climate change is, it might seem far away, a problem you can't see or touch or feel every day, but it is happening and it's global. To get an idea of what's at stake, just look at your plate. Food is profoundly affected by climate change, from how it's produced to what we can grow in the first place. Climate change will hit our food production systems in four ways: from temperature, water, extreme weather, carbon dioxide. Most of us will feel temperature first, so will crops. Production of staples like corn, soybeans, and cotton are projected to increase at first, then decrease sharply as the average growing season temperature keeps hitting more. For corn alone, it could be a decrease of 3% in yield, or more than 300 million bushels. That's enough corn to feed 40 million people. It's not just crops. Livestock will suffer in the heat too. Heat-related stress will mean fewer animal pregnancies, less milk production, and longer times for livestock to reach market weight. Does anyone benefit from the heat? Yes, pests. The ones that live on our livestock. That means more diseases spread by insects. It's already happened in Northern Europe. As the region has warmed, blue tongue virus has moved north, killing more of these animals. Widespread disease could hit crops like corn too, as heat-loving earworms spread north to the upper Midwest, and heat-tolerant viruses like rusts and tobacco mosaic finish off weakened plants. Disease and heat will be even bigger problems as climate change affects water. A dry climate means less production and more pests. Water has a complicated relationship with crops. It's all about the right amount at the right time. Too much early on for a corn stunts growth. Too little later on does the same. Irrigation systems keep the balance, but their sources may dry up as droughts increase. In the Mississippi Delta region, this could put 75% of the rice crop at risk. This rice will also confront another water problem, saltier water, as sea levels rise. Droughts could be brought on by more erratic rainfall, part of a pattern of increasingly extreme weather events. And when extreme weather brings violent downpours, there's another issue: soil erosion and runoff increase. All these pieces of the climate puzzle, floods, droughts, and heat waves, can affect crops and livestock at key moments in their development, turning even a productive season into a disaster. We're already seeing a rise in extreme weather events. 2011 was the most disastrous year on record, with 16 extreme weather incidents that cost over $1 billion. 2012 was a close second, and severe storms continue to cost us billions. All of these changes circle back to the key driver of climate change: increased carbon dioxide, which has its own effect on agriculture. Carbon dioxide helps plants grow. More of it could actually help crops get bigger. But CO2 helps weeds and invasive species grow even more. Crops that survive the weeds could be compromised with less nutritional value. Wheat, for example, could have protein levels drop by more than 10%. This is complicated business because everything's connected. It all boils down to this: climate change could leave us with less food, and the food we end up with could be less nutritious. There are steps that can be taken to mitigate and adapt to these changes. They're the key to our food and our future. What will be on your plate?
Big portions, huh? Big portions. Not anymore. It seems.
Personally, I learned a lot by the way, from this video, because everything was so easily explained and very well connected. You see, if this happens, another thing happens. Very clear. And all those things about carbon dioxide, people do not understand them very well in general. Okay, because I continue. So here, I decided to search for some data. Is seen here related to food sustainability index. Do you know about that one? The index. So it is based on food and waste, food loss and waste, sustainable agriculture, and nutritional challenges. These three factors combined. So here I have compared. I found information about Turkey, Romania, Greece, and Bulgaria. So I didn't find Georgia, no data about Georgia in this index yet. So half of the countries in the world have been surveyed so far. Can you say Romania?
Excuse me, Violetta, you became muted. Hello? Can you unmute, please?
The orange
Grazie,
bar,
lo scopo.
it shows the overall index. The highest index belongs to Greece, I guess, 64, or to 64.50, and Romania is 64.40, something like that. I don't see it very clearly. So the same. So these are kind of very good performers. The thing is where Bulgaria is, you see. So I checked the whole kind of data on the list, and it seems that the country which do perform poorly reach an index of 40 some, which means that 54 is very low. And this may mean that in Bulgaria, these kind of ideas or understanding or business approach related to food waste loss, nutritional value, and sustainable kind of agriculture is not important at all. It seems that your countries do well, the three that are here. And considering the fact that the best performers on this list reach an average of 80 some. So usually, as I mentioned, those countries in the north, the Nordic countries, they reach something like 80 some. Yeah. But 60 some is also very good result. Okay, let's say good. Not very good, but still good. For Bulgaria, it would be poor in a way. And also there is another index that I really like using in my classes. This is the Environmental Performance Index. The previous one was the food sustainability. This one is environmental performance. This is, by the way, researched and organized by the Yale University Center for Environmental Law and Policy. The most friendly countries in the world, you see again, Denmark, Luxembourg, Switzerland, UK, France. Again, we go to the north and to the west. And lowest, poorest performance would be Liberia, Myanmar, Afghanistan, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Madagascar, so Africa, Asia, countries in Africa, Asia. So this measure, the environmental performance index, measures climate change performance, environmental health, and the ecosystem vitality. So it combines these three factors. Where are our countries, by the way? So here I can see that I skipped or missed Armenia. I'll have to check the index later, but there is the very interesting quiz there. You have access to this presentation. You can do the quiz online if you want to check your personal, individual environmental understanding and approach. Ranking the project countries, it seems that Greece is the most friendly country here. Mediterranean countries, yeah. Followed by Romania, followed by Bulgaria, 41. Georgia, I found it 103. And I was kind of surprised to find out that Turkey is ranked 172. So usually, you know, in those rankings, there are approximately 160, 180 countries in the world on average. And Turkey is so kind of, yeah, on food sustainability, very high index. But here on friendly environmental approach, it seems, yeah, that things are kind of different. Why it is like that? It will be difficult. Sorry, yeah.
We don't have big industries.
Maybe because of
We
that.
don't have like factories.
So pollution and carbon,
guess,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And Turkey is a huge producer. Lots of business, everything actually is made in Turkey.
Both in agriculture and in other.
Yeah, very, yeah. In Turkey, you do everything actually, produce whatever, machines, cars, together with agriculture. While in countries like ours that are not very much developed into these types of industry, maybe that's why they look a bit. So it will, anyway, it will be difficult for anyone to promote the idea of sustainability in a place or in a country which is not environmentally friendly. It will be much easier to do this project in Finland, as I said, or in France, or somewhere else. It will be very difficult to do that in Bulgaria with only Bulgarian kind of representative. I guess it is the same or similar idea in your own country. But what I can do, and you can do also when you're trying to spread and share this idea of sustainability and care for nature and for the problems, the only thing that we can do is just to share our knowledge, as the professor can share your own ideas and knowledge about what is happening with the soil. This can help. I can share how people, my knowledge about how people learn and share and how they understand and how they feel about problems related to climate and culture. You can teach many other things. Just everybody has their own knowledge and ideas. The only thing is to share. As I said, this is the only way to encourage, especially young people. We can't do much about the adults, about older people. If people are kind of older than 40, 50, it is difficult to change their mind. But if it is someone like Andy, who is still, you know, very young, I have started changing his mind, let's say 5 years ago. So now he's very much smart, climate smart thinking guy. Actually, he was like this since early childhood, I guess, right? Yeah. This is the only way to engage people. And of course, it requires lots of effort. If someone is not ready to engage, to kind of do their best, to put lots of effort into these ideas, nothing will happen at the end. Some questions I myself would ask participants if I have to lead that kind of training. I would like questions similar to those: how to deal with growing population and growing need for food. This is a very good and well engaging people's minds question. What can be done when thinking about growing population and growing food need or need for food? What can be done for that? No, all answers are encouraged. Yeah. So, because this is a real problem, by the way. I recently heard that the population, the global population, is approaching a number of 9 billion.
Yes.
9. So what? Yeah, I heard that it may be, because nobody knows the exact number. So based on the waste and pollution, and some scientists say that it may be approaching 9, based on the evidence consumption. Nobody knows. How can you know how many people live in India or in China? Impossible. And who has an idea how to deal with this?
I have some ideas.
Okay. Save the world, save the planet.
Yes, I will. First of all, let's change the mentalities and the paradigm of consumerism paradigm. This is the first. Let's change the paradigm of getting wealthy and wealthier for a very narrow segment of our population. This is the first. You displayed the indexes, and the very famous first places were in very high industrialized countries, where everybody admires the cleanliness of their streets and the beauty of their fields, and the eco parks and the garbage platform that look like shiny flourish parks and everything. But everybody seems to forget that their industry is based on the consumerist tempo, and all the resources are get with totally greed attitude from the countries with lower index.
Just
And
imagine that you have someone from
Yes.
those countries here
Yes,
in the audience.
yes.
This will be a great discussion.
Yes, it's not be a discussion, these are facts. So the indexes are built by whom? By countries who encouraged in the 40s and 60s, basically the big five after the Second War. These are countries which push these kind of policies that increase their visibility in kindness and cleanness, and emphasize the not cleanness, the lower indexes for the rest of the world. Just for you to know about carbon emission and electricity and clean energy, as we speak, no, as we spoke, because as we speak is higher, 65%, glorious 65% of electrical energy consumed on this planet is exclusively produced by burning fossil.
Yeah.
Yes, fossil.
Gas. Yeah.
Okay. Just to see. And me as an engineering evaluating like 10 years of European project in eco design, in assessing carbon footprints, I can tell you, but hush, hush, don't tell anybody. This is a great hypocrisy regarding the cleanness of our designs. We are not clean. The batteries, the accumulators in our electric car are the dirtiest thing you can imagine from the point of life cycle design, from the cradle grave point of view, carbon footprint. So we have as a planet a problem. I think it's not we, the Asia and the Africas. Yes.
Latin America.
Yes, with naked, almost naked people, hungry people, lots of people reproducing as rabbits. But it's about everything, and I let you to name it. Yes, of course, we are here. All the black seers here are the privileged border between the traditional way of thinking and the, okay? It's a philosophical problem.
Yeah.
But
Thank
I
you very
would
much
not
for that.
I would not emphasize too much on the dirtiness and all sort of fancy indexes. Maybe I'm a leftist.
I really like such conversations and discussions, but this will need, let's say, lots of hours to continue. Mathematics, yeah, always statistics, by the way. Yeah, that's true. by the way. They say that approximately 10% of, the world is using so much energy that the rest 90% have nothing to do with this, with the waste, actually. Anyway, so the first thing that you mentioned, to change the mentality, you said. This is actually impossible. What we can do is just to start teaching young people early childhood, step by step, and turning their behavior and ideas and perceptions of the world towards a more green thinking. But this will happen since kind of early childhood. So people do not change, unfortunately. And we were born with some specific traits. That's why we don't change that fast economically, for example, the example with Bulgaria. So just because people individually don't want to change or do not understand that they have to change in a way. Other interesting questions that may be kind of useful for you in your future kind of training and sessions that we have with the learners. Where are the young researchers in advancing agricultural technology? Who will take care of the land and the natural resources in the future? Where are young farmers and entrepreneurs, as I said? In Turkey, you may have many of them. It's not that big problem. But in Bulgaria, as far as I know, this is a real problem. I don't know about the other countries. Young people do not want to go, to the fields and make food. So this is a difficult task. Yeah. And we, their parents and our parents taught us that you should study, go to university to avoid working in the field. Yeah, this is a common belief in Bulgaria, I guess in Turkey and Romania as well. So education is a matter of prestige, social status, symbolic, important. If you go to university, you'll become a director and you don't have to go to the farm. Actually, life is not like this, real life. So then final question, what makes a successful agripreneur? Surely hard work, love, and lots of characteristic personal traits and qualities. Without that, if my parents have told me that hard work is not good, how could I go to the farm? No, I just prefer the microphone, the stage, teaching people and stuff. So gardening would be a difficult thing. Passion and love for what they do. You really need to feel the love and passion to the land, to the soil, to every single plant, to be kind of into the idea of working in this field. Care for nature and this naturalistic intelligence. You probably know that we all have a specific percentage of IQ. You know what IQ is. It measures our logical intelligence, how we calculate and stuff like that. It is not that important, by the way. So approximately 30%. So there are lots of other intelligences that we also have, and they are much more important than the IQ. We have emotional intelligence, but we also have naturalist intelligence. If you have this highly developed, you may become a cook, someone who works with food, or you can become a farmer, or you can become an agripreneur, or anything related to nature. Also, the desire to learn and gain new knowledge about land, crops, products, everything related to farming and agriculture. Also, problem-solving skills, which means that IQ is, in this case, will be important, of course, to solve problems. You have to know a lot about the soils, how to cultivate them. Teamwork skills are needed because people there always work in teams. And of course, resilience, the so-called, skill or ability to stand up and continue and go ahead after every next failure. Here, I have made my own research based on several studies about the personal qualities and traits of the successful agripreneur, someone who could be a good entrepreneur in the field of agriculture. It is based on several studies. When it is about personal qualities, scientists came to the idea that these people should have an enterprising mind, thinking like entrepreneurial ideas, having lots of ideas about business. Investigative people who like researching. First, researching, investigating ideas, checking the possibilities. They also should be artistic. Artistic means creative in that way. People with, and creativity is about, combining imagination with logical kind of thought and problem solving. So that's creativity. It's not just imagination. They also should be realistic, think, smart and rational thinking, conventional, usual kind of ordinary approach to solving problems. If you have to dig the garden, the most conventional way will be just to get the tool and do it, manually or the tractor. So that's it. And finally, social is the last trait, which is social, being able to communicate kind of successfully or in a balanced way with people around us. And when it is about psychology, psychology came to the idea that the personality traits that do not change, never change. We are born with this, and some people have them better developed than others. So an agripreneur should be socially responsible person with a high understanding of social responsibility towards people around us, the environment as well. They'll also have to be agreeable. Agreeableness is one trait of our personality. People born in the countries in which we were born tend to be more agreeable. This means that we put the focus on relationship between each other and not that much on results. If the business goals and results can cause negative feelings or they can disturb our relationship, we'll put away the results and we'll try to preserve the relationship. So this is about agreeableness, is taking care of the needs of others as well. In some cases, this will be more caring about others' needs and not your own. And this is very high agreeableness, but these people are agreeable in generally. They're more extroverted, open, sociable in a way. They're conscientious. This is a kind of characteristic or a trait of our personality. Conscientiousness is discipline and organization. If you have to just think about a farmer, what time do they have to wake up? Yeah, or even earlier. It depends on what you do. Growing crops or animals or yeah. So on a farm, so it will be. And finally, openness. Openness is desire to learn. What I have found myself and understood that if openness is low, you cannot teach anyone anything. If somebody is not interested in whatever, in this case, sustainable agri-business, you cannot make them forcefully understand and feel, the problems, the associated problems. Openness is desire to learn and the need to understand more and more about a specific problem that we engage with. So the question to you, do you possess those key agripreneurial skills? Do you have independent thinking and perseverance? Perseverance means, this resilience, the ability to continue ahead despite the difficulties. Do you have it? independent thinking. Independent thinking will mean making your own decisions or decisions by yourself. You do not wait for your boss or somebody else to make the decisions for you and to tell you what to do, or you make yourselves by yourself your own decisions. Independent thinking is about that. Environmental friendly attitudes. Do you have this? What is that? Enterprising, associated with taking risk. Are you a risk person, a risk-taking person? You tend to. It is again about the cultural kind of identity in each country. We are not very much risk takers in a way. And of course, imagination, creativity, which is associated with breaking rules. Lots of people can break rules, but this is not in a creative way. So it is not productive. So, okay, if you have to think about yourself and these 4 things, which of these do you have? Huh? What? Which exactly do you? Being stubborn doesn't, which one is stubborn? Independent thinking. Okay. But stubbornness is kind of negative aspect. There is no such a thing. Huh? Anybody else who has one of these? Huh? Taking risks. Yeah. So do you have your own business? Do you have your own business? Okay. You have got the courage, yeah, to do it.
Yes,
Very good.
but I didn't successful.
Possibly you lack some of these, of
Yeah.
the others, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you
Yeah.
have to learn to break
I
rules.
obey the rules.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. We can learn that, by the way. Okay. Do you possess the key intelligences needed in agripreneurship? As I said, one of them is the so-called naturalistic intelligence. And I have prepared one very simple test which measures your multiple intelligences. The handout should be somewhere in your folders. Would you check your kind of folders and find something on which should be multiple intelligences tests? Really, would you show it? Yeah, it should look like this. Yeah. Really, can I? Yeah. So here, I think that we can spare just this one. The other one is for tomorrow. This one. On the back there is. Do you have a pen or something to write? And how do those participants, they have it? The online participants, should you check the folder, the where you must have a PDF shared files. And identify a document which is titled the Multiple Intelligence Quiz. It says that it takes around 20 minutes, but I don't think that it will take 20 minutes. We'll try to rush it a little bit. So for each of the statements, choose a number between 1 and 5 to rate how this statement describes you. 1 is no, not at all like me. 2 is a little like me. 3, somewhat like me. 4, not like, a lot like me, sorry. And 5, yes, that's definitely me. So we have several intelligences: verbal, logical, visual, interpersonal, musical. So there's the naturalistic here, and 2 more: bodily, kinesthetic, and interpersonal. So good agripreneurs, successful agripreneurs, usually, at least lots of scientific research prove that they have naturalistic, logical, mathematical, and interpersonal very highly developed. When you do this, you'll probably find out that you have 2 or maximum 3 intelligences that measure a higher score. And then we'll transfer the scores here and we'll make a graph on the back. Any questions that you have about the instructions?
You give them a hint.
Yeah, this is the profile of not just this, but these are some of the intelligences. So we also have the personality traits, and we have some other cultural traits that all together draw the learning profile, approach. So it says 20 minutes,
No,
but
10.
it is too much. So let's put kind of spare 10 minutes on that and try to at least to get what our naturalistic intelligence is.
Okay. Also for the online participants, we have 10 minutes.
For the online participants, we'll spare 10 minutes on this. So the online participants, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so does anyone identify kind of the three most developed intelligences for the profile of successful agripreneur? Anybody with a high naturalistic, high logical, mathematical, and high interpersonal intelligence? Is there such a kind of score? The three intelligences above 35?
Yeah, the linguistics is 36 for me.
Okay, or you mean on the three dimensions?
I mean the verbal linguistic only. Or should I sum up all four?
Okay, so your verbal linguistic is the dominant one, and in this case, naturalistic, logical, and interpersonal would be less developed, I think.
Yeah, I will check now and I will say.
Okay,
Because I have got in two different aspects my education. My first profession is linguistics and the second one is economist. I think the mathematical should be higher too. But let me check.
Yeah. It should be expected, but take your time. So just do the test. So this is the link, by the way, to a very interesting platform which offers this great opportunity to do 4 tests like this one, and to measure, different types of intelligences, different personality traits. You can use this when you're teaching or training, young people. So they really like that. And very often what they plan to do and to work in the future is very much seen on their profiles. I usually ask them to do, let's say, 5 tests, and based on the test, they can say, okay, I'm good, or I'm suitable for the field of this or that. There is no point to think about becoming a doctor, medical, or farmer if you don't have anything given by, Mother Nature, because you'll never be happy. So this is a very good way to make them understand what is their own path, their own way in life and career. Yeah, I teach a module like this. That's why I'm into that. So understand how people think and learn. Sometimes, so I have done so many tests with students that now when I start speaking with them and just asking questions, I immediately read the whole picture. So it gives me the idea of who can do what, who is happy with this or that, whatever. But in general, understanding how people think and learn is a very complex issue, because first of all, we have our own personality with the specific traits that we have, the agreeableness, the openness. Some of you may know about that. We all have this human nature, which is given by Mother Nature. You see this pyramid here. This is inherited. We belong to that specific kind of human species. The human nature, this is universal, and we are all the same in terms of, needs. The second stage of the pyramid is culture. This is the place or the environment in which we were born. We were born in a family, and the family is functioning in a community or in a bigger family, in a community, in a city, town, and then country, nationality. So culture in which we grow up actually affects to a very great extent our behavior and our perceptions of the world, our understanding. So when I say that this person is very open, if he is born in an environment which is kind of more hierarchical, this openness will not be the same as openness which was born, let's say, in a society which is more free or with a kind of more supportive and more encouraging self-initiative. So these three levels, when teaching or communicating with people, we're training them, we have to take into consideration our culture, which is specific to the Turkish group, to the Bulgarian group, to the Romanian group, to the Greek group, to the Armenian, to whatever. And all those things that are specific to the single individual. So first we belong to a group, and then we are single individuals. Very kind of complicated things. So in general, these are personality and individual preferences. The past experiences that we've had, they affect our views of the world. Then the habits that we have developed. We go to specific schools, and in schools they teach us something. So we adopt our habits at this very young age, and then it's very difficult to change whatever you want. Cultural identity, the social norms and social values. What is a norm in one culture may not be, what is good in one culture may be bad in another culture. If I ask the students, can you drink alcohol in Morocco? They say, no, of course not. Or in somewhere in Afghanistan. No, unbelievable. But if I ask a Russian student or Ukrainian, can you drink alcohol? Come on. That's absolutely different views of the environment. It affects our thinking in a different way. So then how we understand time, how we understand risk, also comes from culture. How we understand, how we make decisions comes also from our culture. If we have teacher-centered education, the teacher is over there and just blah, 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 blah all the time. Students listen, do not take part, no expressing opinion. What do we expect? Nothing. They will expect somebody to tell them what to do until they die. So that's the reality. That's true. So that's why we have to encourage young people. What can you see here on the left? Focus on the left one and tell me what you see. You said two people? Three.
And people.
Three.
Two people. And three.
No. One, the first thing that you see, not the brain does not see them both at the same time.
I saw them almost.
Almost. This is a matter of a second, but you cannot see them. So what do you see first? Three. And what about the other one on the right? But you first saw something. I know that. What did you see first? Some of you will see duck, some of you will see rabbit. Yeah. Remember that people think, learn, and view the world in different ways. Every single brain sees that even the colors are seen in a different way. Okay. So what did you see first? If you saw a tree, you're more extroverted. Sociable, да. Extroverted, more sociable. Okay. Too much, but you may pay too much attention to detail. For example, accountants do that, paying lots of attention to single details, which may be kind of a weakness, not very encouraging thing to do. Those who can be good at reading people's moods. You see someone and you understand that they feel happy or tired or they have a problem and things like this. But these people are also tactful and sympathetic, understanding other people's emotions. Yeah. Those who saw dark may be more intuitive, more imaginative, more creative, and they are expected to be more visual learners. They will learn through, images, visualization in any form. Yeah. On the other side, we see the couple. These people tend to. Who said a couple, by the way? Two people. Who said two people? You. The second. Maybe more. You saw it. Yes. You're more introverted. If you look back into this, you're not very extroverted. Yeah, you're not very interpersonal. You don't care too much about people. And some people care. It is, do not understand me wrongly. Yeah, it's not like this. Yeah. Yeah, the same with the professor. So logic and to me, it is the same. Logic, mathematics, numbers, and particular result is much more important than relationship with people. I'll try not to hurt anyone's feelings. Anyway, but those are more introverted, more logical, more rational, calm. You look like a calm person, by the way. Yeah, you do. Balanced. Let's say balanced. A rabbit, analytical, good at writing, reading, linear thinker, one by one. When you're completing tasks, you feel things under control. You first do one task, after that, the second. You're not a kind of multitasker in that case. Multitaskers in many cases fail, by the way. Too many things, nothing. No, the quality is poor, usually. Students also like this. And based on these things that I just mentioned, this is very superficial, by the way, because we have too little time. I would say that science came to the conclusion that there exist several learning styles, learning types, and our brains learn and grasp information and then process it in different ways. What I'm doing now, I'm talking to you, trying to explain something. What are you doing right now? Are you grasping or processing information? Grasping. So first you need to grasp, to perceive, yeah. And science says that we can only influence the way in which people grasp, perceive information. You cannot change or interfere, or we can't do anything about the processing of information. So the only effort that we could make is to make this presentation more expressive, more interesting, for the brain to retain more information, to grasp more, a bigger percentage, and then based on their capacity to process it. This is but we cannot interfere with the processing of information. So visual learners, oral learners, those that are musical kind of have who had high musical kind of intelligence degree. Yeah, you may be oral learner. You learn better through. Do you all the time listen to music? Yeah, when learning, when doing things, music is always play. You need the rhythm. You do dance? You do? Yeah. So verbal learners learn through verbalizing, using words. So that's kind of understandable. This is also related to reading as well. Social learners. Most of I will talk about that tomorrow. Our learners tend to be more social. They need a group to learn. And they learn, especially grasp much better when they're in smaller groups in class. So this is social learning. Make it social. They don't like, this solitary learning alone. So I see that when they work in groups of 3 or 4, they really like that. Engage, enjoy, to the maximum. Social, logical learners. So we have a couple of them here. Logical, they need facts. If there are no facts, you learn nothing, I guess. Is it true? Yeah. Physical and tactile learners. We have lots of students. We have a program in culinary arts, and all of them are those kind of physical and tactile learners. On your multiple intelligences, there is something which is kinesthetic. Is it called kinesthetic intelligence? Yeah, bodily kinesthetic, tactile. This is the use of body. The rhythm. It usually goes together with music. And all the students that love cooking, they're ready. They're like soldiers in the kitchen. They have very high bodily kinesthetic, tactile, learning. They like moving as one always. Hands, legs, body. Right, yeah. Or if they didn't, the chef just sends them away from the program. Yeah, he's Canadian and no mercy, as they say. This is Nordic kind of style of teaching to people from Africa, Asia. 1/3 of them drop out the first year. Yeah. Okay. So physical and tactile, I said solitary learners. There are, by the way, the number of young people who tend to become more solitary is growing. So they would prefer to sit alone and do everything by themselves. You can never put them in a group. So if they're in a group, they get confused. The brain just stops thinking. Or also in the big group, they cannot think. They're isolated from the others. This is a kind of a challenging thing for the trainer to understand. And finally, naturalist learners, they learn through topics about nature. They learn better if they're outside. They learn better if you're using realia or objects from the nature, or you make experiments in the classroom. So this would be kind of suitable for the classes in physics, chemistry, biology, but also for the other classes too. I have noticed that when students study foreign languages, all the books are structured in a way. Every chapter or every lesson section has a topic which is related to climate change, to things like this. And some teachers skip those lessons because they say that they're not interesting to the learners, to the young people. How to make them think about the problems? If you skip the lessons, you do not attract their attention to. So it requires lots of effort. And by the way, what time is it? Time to finish? What time is it? 15 past. You see, I asked what time is it, and Chrissy said time to finish. She didn't say, and I expect to say that it is 15:30. Different types of thinking, how we perceive time. Yeah, different attitudes.